Hey guys, it's M16. I'm back and I've got another video. I just got done grinding the SU-152 and I've just gotten and fully upgraded the ISU-152 and the troll cannon, the very deadly BL-10, oftentimes trolls you more than it trolls your opponents. So the theme of this video is RNG Giveth and RNG Taketh away, because I have had some of the best and worst RNG that you can possibly imagine all in the same match, almost consistently. So, without further ado, this is ISU-152 gameplay. First match, we are on Port Bay, and I am attempting to set up a ambush for the first tank who is stupid enough to cross our path, and I'm going to plant a massive 640 alpha damage shot straight into their side, and at the very worst, I'm going to put it straight through its lower plate, because the ISU-152 has around 290 penetration with its standard AP shell. So, more than enough to get through any tier 8. Or so you'd think. I see the VK. I assume he's alone because the Carnarvon that went town spotted something else. So I go around, and you get my first bit of RNGsus Giveth. I'm going to see this T-44. He is coming at me, and I turn and snapshot, and I get a full health ammo rack. This tier 8 medium tank, which immediately swings the battle in our favor because the T-44 is very, very deadly, and the fact that I put him out of his misery in one shot from full health is immense momentum swing, or can be an immense momentum swing. And immediately after that, with the very next shot I take, I get a bit of RNGsus Taketh away. VK4502A, 50-50 chance for a one shot. I shoot him, and I get the minimum damage roll you can have in this tank. But I also bounce a shot, which is pretty rare if you're in an ISU because the armor is absolutely trash. And the thing turns like a semi with no wheels. This turns so ungodly slow. But it is pretty quick in a straight line. It'll go about 40 in a straight line. And right now I am avoiding the T95, who turns even slower than me, which is nice. And I'm going after this T34, lining up a shot because I see him coming out, pump one right into his side. Thinking about going after the T95, but he's up and around the hill. So I'm going to go after this T32 and plant one right into his side. I don't get lucky, and he penetrates me again, or I get penetrated again. And I have to pop adrenaline, or there's no way I'm going to get out of that one alive. So I did so and killed the T32. 6-0. Gonna be a pretty easy sweep. A lot of it had to do with killing that T-44 in one shot, which the BL-10 is excellent at, getting full health ammo racks. I got one about every 4 games I played in it so far, so it's pretty good at getting the ammo racks and blowing the crap out of enemy tanks, and doing so is just a huge momentum swing for your team. So if you can line up a shot on their ammo rack, you're almost certainly at the very least going to damage it if it's at a tier 8 tank. And even some tier 9 tanks, you can quite easily full health ammo rack, say a E50. If you get its side and you shoot just below to the turret, you are having an excellent shot at ammo racking it. This is 4 games later, and I am on Port Bay again, but I am on the opposite spawn, and because we are not morons, we are going to the left, because as Confucius says, he who goes town is a moron, or at least that's what I think he says. A little bit might have gotten lost in translation, might have been a little bit more deep than that, but that's the general gist of it, at least I think so. Okay, so same plan as last time, just the opposite side. We're going to line up an ambush shot on the first tank stupid enough to cross our path.
And at the very least, we are going to plant one right through his lower plate for around 640 alpha damage. We just got to get there and get set up, and then we wait. Except because it's Port Bay, and if the enemy team is at all smart, we won't have to wait very long. And then, see the RU-251, get a little nervous, but I still line up my shot. It's time for a little bit of RNGsus Giveth. Yak Panther, side on, full health ammo rack, 1050 damage. This thing is a beast for ammo racking tanks, even more so than the SU-152. For some ungodly reason, I get more ammo racks in this thing than that, even though they basically got the same gun if you fire heat in the SU-152, and that is a tier lower. Again, like last time, the very next shot gives me a little bit of RNGsus Taketh away. I'm lining up a shot, or at least trying to line up a shot on the T-32, but I smell blood in the water, and I see an RU-251, so I switch to HE, and I'm lining up a shot at the side of his tank, and I fire, and it goes and hits his tracks, and I hit him for like 430 damage. That sucks. And end clip. The next match is on Canal. Again, I'm in my ISU-152, and again, you are going to see some RNGsus Giveth and RNGsus Taketh away. And because we are in Canal, even though they move the cap, we still go to the southeast corner because you can very easily scuttle along and reset the cap right down the middle of the map. You have a straight line, so there's still no need to go to the northwest corner on Canal. So southeast corner it is, going left from the northeast spawn. We'll take us straight over there, and trying to get around this Yak Panther. He's making it a little difficult, and then he decides to give me some room. Just scuttling along. You can kind of see that this tank's pretty quick in a straight line. It's not super fast, but then again, this isn't the best type of ground for going fast, I guess. And we see a Panther 2 moving forward, trying to get a shot on him. Don't really get one. Turn to our right, and we've got 3 tanks immediately that we can shoot. Shoot, fire, get a pretty good damage roll, a little bit above average, 683. Can't complain about that at all. See the Tiger 1. I plan on shooting him next, and then I see the VK, so I switch to HE. And if you look, my gun, I'm traversing my hull as I'm trying to aim at the VK. I fire, and I hit him in the side with HE, penetrate it, and one-shot him without ammo racking him, which is still nice. So that was the round of RNGsus Giveth for this match. Right now, I am just simply reloading and waiting for a shot. Very next shot, side of a Pershing. The shot goes high and left, and I bounce off the side of a Pershing that has like 50 millimeters of armor. So that's a thing, apparently. I just went high and left and bounced clean off his gun mantlet. Didn't even damage his gun at all. So immediately, right after RNGsus Giveth, RNGsus Taketh away. Then I finished off the Tiger 1. My platoon mate finishes off the Tiger 2. And I'm pretty sure that's just about it for this match. But we do smell blood in the water, and we are going after the IS-6, who was spotted earlier but pulled back after I one-shotted that VK-2801. So I'm probably only going to get one shot into the IS-6, just kind of trying to race my platoon mate up here, but I guess I've got better hill climbing skills than he does. So I get here first, which means I can plant a full damage shot into him, and I'm pulling back, but
the IS-6 still doesn't want anything to do with me, and then I finish him off. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nothing too hard in that round. RNGsus Giveth and RNGsus Taketh away with like every game you'll play in the ISU-152 with the BL-10. Because that's just how this gun is. It's super deadly, but sometimes it's more of a detriment to you than it will help you, because it just, the worst possible things happen all the time, and the best possible things happen all the time. It's like the most bipolar gun I've ever played with, even more so than the 183. And I hate the FE-215B 183 just because of how completely bipolar it is. And the 183 is slow, and the 183 has no armor. The ISU-152 has a bipolar gun, is fast in a straight line, but turns slow. The 183 can kind of turn pretty fast because you can also use its turret, but the ISU doesn't have a turret. So both tanks have bipolar guns, no armor. They either turn slow or are very slow in a straight line. And it's just, they're so team dependent. Like, you don't understand. It's so bad. It's so bad. The ISU is like, you just really have to set up ambush shots and then hope that you don't get focused, because the ISU has 10 more health than the SU-152, a tier below it. Last patch, in patch 2.6, the SU-152's 152mm gun was buffed, and it got its health buffed too. And so now it's got 10 less health than the tank the tier above it, with, I'm pretty sure, better gun stats, besides maybe dispersion. My guess is that Wargaming plans on buffing the ISU-152 also, because it really makes sense if they're gonna have a completely unnecessary buff for the SU-152 to basically make it an ISU-152. There's really no need to have an ISU-152, so they're probably gonna buff this tank next because, Russian bias. And speaking of Russian bias, in 5 days, starting February 23rd, there is going to be a Tankenstein style grinding mission for a Soviet Tier 8 heavy tank, the IS-3 Defender, aka the IS-3D, and it is basically an IS-3 with stronger frontal turret armor, smaller weak spots that are harder to hit, less weak spots on the turret, and a 3-shot autoloader gun for its 122mm. That's completely insane. But I will be getting that tank because, that's completely insane. Apparently, the IS-3D's 3-round autoloader will have a 25-second clip reload with a 7.5-second reload for each shell in the clip. So, from the first shell you fire, it takes 15 seconds to do 1200 damage at tier 8. That's crazy. If you come across a T62A or Object 140 on 1200 health, and you are on 1200 health, you're gonna kill that tank first, and you should, in theory, have around 300 health left to go scuttle away and wait for your 25-second reload to be done, because you do the same amount of damage in 3 shots that he should do in 4 shots. So it's a very good tank, or it will be. This is M16's World of Tanks Blitz Replays. I hope you enjoyed my video, and as always, have a nice day.